welcome everybody. My name's Andrew Dick, and as Nora said, I have the real pleasure of being the director of the Institute and working incredibly closely with David and the Moorfields team to really embellish what we do here, which I hope will get you seriously excited, engaged as much as you wish to be, but give you all the opportunities that's available to you. And so I'll speak from the Institute side. So I put this up first because the Institute is a department within UCL, and I just wanted to emphasize that whilst you're here working ever so hard on your courses, really focusing down, there is an opportunity of a fabulous university to just have a little tickle with when if you wish to immerse yourself in other areas. So UCL is a big university, over 35,000 students, representing over 150 countries. It's a global university, which it loves that diversity and it wants to enrich it, and it has over 11,000 staff. So it's big. It's a big place. But with that is a massive community. So there's pictures here of the student centre, well, we're soon to lose beautiful sunny days, but they'll be back to laze around on the central campus. And of course we have UCL Minds, something to look at, because if you're interested, they do an amazing menu of lectures and talks from all different disciplines, from arts to humanities to science to policy to whatever. Something that you could, if you wish, see the richness that UCL can bring in your wider education. Our mission at the Institute is to deliver research and education in vision and eye disease to benefit sight, not just for us and society, not just for locally, but not just for Britain, but what impact through our education and our research can we bring globally. So our vision is to do that through being at the cutting edge of research, producing it in a high impact factor, but we can't do that without engaging in a community that we're educating with and bringing the richness of that education forward into society, whatever you may wish to do. And I know you're here for specific reasons, but it's about how we can embellish that richness to make you feel fully equipped to be enterprising, to succeed as you leave the course. And I think that's really important to us. It's a very core value to us, and that's something that we want to really push. And of course we don't do that alone, even though I put a lovely picture of the Institute, which isn't the most beautiful building, but anyway, but we do that in partnership, in integrative fashion with Moorfields, as why you're here today. I'm particularly proud of this because this was something that came from the community of both students and staff when looked at and said, if we had values, how would we do that? How do we enrich your educational program? How do we enrich the society between Moorfields and UCL and the Institute? And they came up, and I also fully love these, which is being collaborative, working together, helping each other, inspiring each other, working with integrity and honesty with each other to bring opportunity for us all. It's fabulous core values. They should, I just ask you to live those, because it will enrich you between yourselves, between your educators, and beyond with other areas in UCL. To bring you a little bit of context of where you sit and how vibrant this is this basically, we sit in the School of Life and Medical Sciences in a faculty called Brain Sciences, very university and how they orchestrate things. Context. This is larger than quite a lot of universities in the UK, just this school. That's how big this school is. But it also tells us how vibrant the school is, because it's got so many activities. We link in our faculty with many other institutes, and we try and integrate much more with neurology, that puts on similar courses for their allied health professionals and non-medical professionals, and also in the science arena. With the Ear Institute, our fellow SENSE organ that has similar sort of aspirations, and we try and work both from the science together more, but also interacting much more in the education arena to learn off each other. Is to bring context to where you sit, not just in this diaspora, but in the larger UCL, and particularly in brain sciences. And I haven't even talked about all the other bits of UCL, but brain sciences itself is the size of some universities, just one faculty. So it's an amazing, enriched environment to engage. We do this through the research we do. The words are interesting, but it's really about a quest of new knowledge, through educating, through to helping patients at the end of the day. And it's part of a big ecosystem that we're all part of. We're here for one reason, you're here for one reason, but together and collectively we want to make a difference. So we have research themes that are all engaged in the educational program, in our portfolio of education. We try and do this so that we're understanding on the right-hand side mechanisms, understanding why do things go wrong, trying to develop therapies, because understanding mechanisms is fine, but you've got to do something with it, so understanding how we then move the treatments forward. And then basically saying, well, do the treatments make any difference and does the population need it? So that's based on this theme, understanding vision, outcomes, working with the global medical community, I'll put it that way, allied health professionals, non-medical, medical, all terms which are essentially one thing. We're all medical, trying to make a difference to our patients. But we have to adopt and adapt and translate through into how do we provide for an increasing population with eye health burden. And that's why we're here today, to try and do that. Do we think we can do it? Welcome. I hope we can. I hope we satisfy your needs. This is Nora's slide, which I plagiarized without asking. Do not do that in any of your writing, because apparently you're not allowed to. Nora, may I use this slide, please? Thank you very much. And of course, we set ourselves up to fail because we're number one, but we want to stay number one. But actually, number one comes on two parts. It's about the excitement and engagement of the student body. It's about you taking all the opportunities we can give you. And it's about holding us to task, that we're delivering on those opportunities. But it's a two-way dialogue about how we really move things along. And we have massive research strength, so you're at the most exciting place to think about what the future may look like whilst you're learning about how to do things for now, but also about how you will develop going forward and take your careers forward in that light. And we do that in lots and lots of partnerships. I know David's been in, and none of us could succeed without those partnerships. So it's about togetherness that makes it happen, for me anyway, and it's very exciting to see. So context, why are we doing this? Well, 1 in 3 over 85 live with visual loss. What's that matter? Problems, which is the senses decline, cognitive, eyesight, ears, as well as musculoskeletal. So there's still an aspect that we have to deliver for society to make people live long, healthy and fruitful lives and deliver on a service that we have to be innovative, enterprising and engaging and collaborative in to allow us to bring that to bear for our patients. That's why we're here, to be able to deliver for that. And then, you know, we have a lot of people who suffer sight loss, affecting their employment, affecting their opportunity, the hidden disability of sight loss, unless you have a white stick, and even that's mostly hidden, and if you walk around, no one really cares. And obviously we have a societal and financial impact to do something. I love these diagrams because, you know, you can see how fatter it's getting at the top, and that's what's happening to us. Essentially we're aging, so there's more people who are old than there are young. There's a lot of issues about that, but for us, the main issue is about, okay, so how do you live well for longer? And how can you contribute for longer as well as looking after patients? So it's a real dilemma. We have an increasing demand in the community and the hospital, but we have improved technology and treatments. But we can only deliver that together by imparting knowledge to each other, by equipping us with the skills required to deliver for those patients, of which we're all going to be part of going forward. So it's a really exciting time, and the opportunities are absolutely enormous. You'll be engaged going forward and in the course and going forward in understanding those population demands, understanding we have far too much data and we don't know what to do with it, but how do we use that big data to know how we should be focusing on demand, whether that's in how you run a clinic, how you provide a service, to how you drive through therapies. So it's very complex, but part of that research embeds itself in all education angles, how to work out where policies, service reform, how to get community and secondary care better coordinated, how to deliver from a global medical fraternity, how to best deliver for the care of those patients in an appropriate fashion. So our big achievements, which bring excitement, are surgery and devices and diagnostics. So what does that mean for us? We're already at a dilemma of who do we get to run and how do we safely run and how do we empower all of us to run this huge burden of over 10% of outpatients for the NHS, and how to allow that to come through from understanding new therapies. So some examples. We understand the data, we have imaging technologies, we have artificial intelligence. Great. But it needs people to interpret, it needs people to deliver for that patient, it needs a personal contact with that patient, but it needs to be efficient. So it's all about needing to understand that in context to how we're going to deliver going forward. Treatments. Macular degeneration. When I was training, it was a very simple outpatient clinic. It was, I'm really, really sorry. It's not simple, it's never good to give bad news. But there was not a lot you did, so the patient left. And it went to the community where they were looked after, hopefully, by the support services. Now, we're treating patients. Same for diabetes. And soon we'll be treating patients with what's called dry macular degeneration. That will be an enormous burden. How are we going to do that? How are we going to understand the data? How are we going to develop by being educated in a way we can deliver those services? How do you help deliver those services? Working together in able to do that. Injecting, whatever it may be, virtual clinics, running clinics. What an exciting time to learn and be engaged, because it is all going to change over the next, it is changing and has changed, and it's going to change even further over the next 5 years. And the reasons are for all of us to get there is taking the, I was going to ask Nora actually, is it a Harvardian? How do you say, someone from Harvard, what are they called? No idea. Harvard, people from Harvard, Harvardians.
Is that a trick question?
Yeah, group question, I have no idea what the answer is. So Harvard, being an intellectual powerhouse, on their global impact for health said where we're moving towards, which most places have adopted, is the 4 Ps. We need to know how to predict disease and preempt it. That's about changing diet, stopping smoking, looking at people at risk with genetic stuff, everything we're all going to be involved with. It's about, therefore, being predictive, which is saying, well, okay, you're actually really high risk, Andrew, and what we're going to do is maybe start treatment before you even get disease so that you can be disease-free for longer. And when you have disease, be precise. What is the best treatment for you at the right time? This is about how you develop services, how you bring in all the data, how you use artificial intelligence in the future, whatever it may be. But part of that is we're all on the learning process together, and we require everybody's input past the educational program to learn how to develop that for the future. So you're all empowered to make a difference in the end. The last one is participatory. And to me, that's the most important, and where you will play an equally important role to me. Participatory is about engagement. and involvement, not just engaging, but involving. It's about involving students, other students to be engaged. It's about involving patients, not just engaging, letting them know, but involving, and the public. So it's about us being very much more outward to bring everyone together as a community to move forward. Because the more we can participate together, the faster, and there's good evidence for this, stuff changes. So at the get-go, it's about how do we learn when we're thinking of all the knowledge base you're about to acquire, how do we participate in bringing people together so we can adopt change faster, because everyone has been party to that journey. So really, whilst it's down here, participatory should be at the top, although this is the order that the Harvard people put. And this is something that, you know, I think most people believe in now, most people are moving towards as their template, and certainly think about it as part of your educational program now, about how this will impact on you and what you're learning and how you'll develop going forward. Because this is exactly the thought processes. Some of it will be disruptive when you go out, but it's good. Therefore, participation is very important at the beginning. We have this other thing I wanted to bring you're going to find coming to fore, which is what's called oculomics. It's basically the scientific term is metagenomics, but oculomics is how do we understand, this is very much where we are going forward. So if we're going to devise new services, how we all play in developing and treating patients better, we'll have this exciting time of all this data. You'll be taking pictures of patients, you'll have data in glaucoma of their visual fields, you'll have genetic information coming through, you'll have some AI helping you work out prediction and predictability. But really it's about harnessing that, which will help develop your services. It'll help you predict, be precise, but in order how you develop services for the future. So it's, again, a very exciting time. It's happening now, and this is why research is, embedded very much in the education agenda to carry forward. Just some way we do that here from the research to make change is through what's called the Biomedical Research Centre. The gentleman on the top right is Professor Sepeng Kaur. I don't often say this, the reason he's knighted is because he's made amazing vanguard movements in ophthalmology. Part of that is building a biomedical research centre, not alone, with lots of other people, but it's allowed us to develop through all I've been saying. So it's a continuous entity and growth, and it's organic. And my argument will be, except for it hasn't participated in bringing this arena in, and that's what it needs to do. So if you have an opportunity, learn about the BRC for the future, how you may wish to see it grow as part of your education. Don't be frightened to ask awkward questions or be engaged in that process. And that's it from me, really. And mostly I really, really want to welcome you and thank you for, I don't know what the right words are, believing in UCL and Moorfield, coming. I hope we serve you well, but I want to emphasise it is a two-way thing. Please grasp the opportunities that are there. Be active, not passive about it. There are plenty of things to do in wider UCL, participation in the Moorfield side for other activities as well as the course. And I know it's enormously busy, enormously demanding, but I just wanted to wave that in front of you. There are other opportunities.